Hello there, welcome to this new video where I explore the new features of my movable builds data pack. There's a lot of new things, but mostly it's new usability. So in this video we'll discover how we can make a flying bird. Alright, so let's start simple. So we need a bird. This is actually something I just built with Minecraft blocks. And the first thing we will try to do is make it move forward. So at the moment I don't have any of my tools, so the best way to start actually is just type reload, and then you will get the help menu that I provided. So we'll need to be able to scan things. So for this I will get the scanner tool. The rest we will use later. Secondly, we'll look at moving. So I'll get this mover tool and this get info tool. Those are rather simple tools that we'll see how we can use those. And so this explains the three ways to move a build once we have scanned it. So number 2 and 3, these are the old methods, and these use a little bit of command knowledge. The first one is a new method, and I hope it's a bit more user friendly. So for this, I will need this command block to begin with. This duplicator tool we will use later. So what we of course start with is by scanning the, in this case, bird that we made. So as you can see, it has created the armor stance with the bird. This mover tool we can use to just get it out of there and see it a little bit better. This info tool will give us some information about it, so we can see, okay, yeah, this is the ID, which we also get when we just scanned it. It will allow us to just kill it, and we can also see that it actually belongs to me. Something else that is new is that we get these user tools, these movement tools, I mean. So these are a few tools that we got. So at the moment we got 3 tools, and this can be used to move them. So if I just click it, it will rotate. If I want to make it go forward, it just goes forward. If I want to make it go towards a positive x, so that's like an absolute movement. So this doesn't take the rotation into account. Well, forward does take the rotation into account. So yeah, those are there are 3 types. So this is rotation, this is relative movement, and this is absolute movement. But each of these types also has a few modes. So we can switch these modes by just dropping it. So now we rotate counterclockwise. We can also rotate up. We can rotate down. And there's also a 360 version of up and down, which means we can go all the way around. But this may this uses a few tricks, so it may behave differently, especially when you use it in combination with other movement tools. Voila. So yeah, for the same for the relative movement, we have forward, we have backward, we have right, we have left, we have up, and we have down. And then for x, we have x, we have also all possible axes. But as you might see, this movement is not super fluent. It's only happening every 4 ticks, because it's a carrot on a stick. That's something that's a property of Minecraft, which is not very easy to code around. There are some tricks, but I didn't feel it was necessary for this, because the way we actually want this to be used is through a common block. Yes, you still need a common block on which you put a chest. So this is the common block I got from the help menu from this button here, and it already has a comment in it, so you don't need to worry about this. We just we just can put something in it. So we want to move forward. So let's put the forward in it. Let's take a button. And now it can move forward. So this is only one tick, but we can switch it to a repeat, and then it will go forward for a little bit more. So yeah, this is the essence. This also, you can put as many in it as you want. And now it does all these things together. But of course, no, I don't have these tools anymore, and I might want multiples. So that's why we also have this duplicator tool. So let's get this now. And if I put this on my offhand and I sneak plus drop, I just duplicated this tool, and then I can put this one, for example, in counterclockwise, and this one in clockwise. And that means I can use multiple common blocks and chain them together to do all kinds of crazy things, which we will get to in a minute. Okay, so for the next part, we'll try to have the wings go up and down so that the bird actually looks like it's flying. But first, we needed to do something else. We needed to flip this bird 90 degrees. This is because of a certain limitation which is in this data pack and also largely due to Minecraft. Maybe you might have noticed that we only had two types of rotation. So we could rotate clockwise and counterclockwise like this, like I'm rotating now. We can rotate up and down, but the third rotation is not possible, which means that if we build the bird like this, the wings would not be able to go up and down. We can go around this by having the bird flip 90 degrees, but this will mean that the bird will not be able to look up and down, and that to make it go forward, we'll see that in a minute, we actually need to use the left or right movement tool. But first, we actually need to define the wings. So for that, we also have some tools. So there is this, I explained it in my previous video already, the hinge mechanic is what I called it. So for this, we need this hinge tool. And we will also need a separator tool, which before we only used the ignore tool, but this will be much less useful now because we have this separator tool, which is much more powerful for what we need here. So the thing that we want to do is that we create a different substructure, a sub part of this build, which is a wing. So for that, they need to be connected at one specific spot, which is this hinge marker. So this way, we indicate it like at this point, we want the wing to start, and we want to be able to rotate around this so that the wing is going up and down. But the problem is that we also need to define where does the wing stops and where does it end. And that's for this, we have the separator tool. So that's a new tool. And we can point it to whatever space in between blocks we want. We go sneak. Well, we can toggle it on and off by right click. And if we hold sneak and we right click, we indicate this to be a spot that we want to separate from the main build. So as you can see, this is a much more simpler system than we had before. We'll do the same for the other wing. All right, so this looks fine now. So if we scan this now, the bird will have wings. So scan it over there. And again, use this. And now we'll see that we got a few extra tools. We can also see that we have extra IDs. So, well, actually, it's easy to visualize with the info tool. So we have this main section, and we have the wing. So yeah, like that and like that. But this also indeed means that we got extra tools. So we have the rotation for the main part, and we also have for each ring we have a rotation tool as well. This cannot have relative or absolute movement because they always need to stay attached to the main part. I mean, if you use commands, it is possible, but it will always come back. So we will want to be able to rate the wings up and down eventually as well. So yeah, for this one it's down because it's the other side. So now, okay, so I will show you that forward actually does not mean forward because we build it according to a different axis. So if you want forward to be forward, like that bird over there, we need to be pointing towards positive Z, but in this case we are now pointing another way. But that doesn't matter much. It just means the tool is a bit more confusing, but we can do exactly the same by going right. It just means right is forward now. So we know which tools we need. So now let's try to put them in a system. And so we'll need our chest. Oops. But first, so the idea is that our bird will be going forward and flapping its wings. So that means that every time every tick we will need to go forward. So that's actually the right tool now. So that means we'll need to duplicate this tool a few times. I still have the duplicator tool in my offhand, so I can just sneak and drop it a few times. And now we have this plenty. So let's start. So let's also duplicate this a few times. And we can go forward and rotate one wing up. That means we will want to rotate the other wing down. So let's voila. We will also make this a repeat. And if we now, I'm going to take a lever because I think that's more clean. So now it is going forward, but the wings are only going up. It's sort of slow. I will also show you. This might be because the bird from the demo is still there. So let's see if we can just kill this one. So we have a bit more memory for the one we're trying to make now. So I'm gonna lower it a little bit and rotate it back towards us. So the next thing we want to do is something very similar, but we just want the wings to go down. So we'll make that. We again make it a repeat. We put a chest on top of it. And so we want to go forward, but we want the different tools. So we want this one to be down. Was actually there. Yes, so that's the ID that went up before, and now we want this one to go up. So we have ID ending on 12 that goes down, and we have the 13 going up. So this will be the other one, and let's see what happens. Voila. So now we need to sort of cycle between these two, which will of course involve a little bit of redstone. Yes. So let's try to do that on camera as well. I'm not sure this will be possible because I remember from my experiments that I actually needed more. Wait, am I doing it right? No, I'm not doing it right. So let's I need to go around. Wait. If we now the short pulse, it sort of is flying, but of course you can make the redstone a bit better, but I'm not going to do that for this video now. So thank you very much for for watching, and have a very nice day.